Okay, radio log number 5. Why the problem with Iran? Iran. This is a fact that point that probably no one's probably going to mention, and that's the fact that Iran is the only country in the world which has its own banking system, which is free of debt. It's not a debt-based system, and the people in Iran get to enjoy this. Of course, the Americans, uh, um, are in so much debt. The only, because we have to remember that the world we live in is about commerce. It's all about commerce, and virtually none of us know about this. We're all struggling with this one. But all the revenue and the currency and all that stuff is all debt. That's what it is. It's not, you know, it's just debt. It's it. You don't, you're having your time and your effort stolen from you, and you're being forced to do this. There's nothing you can do about it. But in Iran, that's not the case. It's not the case in Iran. The people there, they enjoy the fruits of their labour. They really do, because their system is not debt based. Their system is, a real system of banking, which where their currency is real. It's not debt based. It's debt free. See? Which is a big difference, you see. And this is why the Americans, getting a bit haughty about this, because why are they getting haughty? You see? Because the ones that run America, right, the corporation, the company, is the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve waves its arms and says certain things and does certain things, and the American corporation has to bow down and do what they're told. There's no doubt about that, And of course, America's in so much debt. The Federal Reserve bankers, all work the same as the local bankers do. You must have an asset for one, and you must have enough income to pay for the loan that you get from that asset. That's what you must do. So it applies the same with America. You see, America, right, has to have assets to pay to get the loans, one, and two, have the income from those assets to pay the loan off. This is the rule with banking. And the ones who own the banks, Freemasonic Jews, they make the rules and they set the standard. And the reason why all this stuff is happening over in the Middle East is because these Middle Eastern countries, which America has been bullying and has taken over, are assets. And they have income. And it's called crude oil. And that's what it's called, and that's what's backing the dollar. It's called the petrodollar. You see, this is how they keep bankrolling their debt. You see, it's not the GDP of the corporation called the USA. Oh no, that's not what's backing it. No, it's this forceful acquirement of assets. See, in the Middle East that have crude oil. See, so they can bolster their what? Their currency with crude oil. See, they acquire these assets by force, right? And then they have the means to pay back the debt by selling the crude oil. See, this is how. And see, Iran is the last bastion for this. If they get Iran, then they can, we can get some more loans. You see, well, but eventually, once they've done Iran, well, then they can't do that anymore, and then what will happen? The Federal Reserve won't lend them any money anymore, and then they'll go bust. That's what happened. But so the only thing that's floating them is the fact that they're forcefully raping and forcing their will upon these other nations who have not got atomic weapons. But they can't do this to Iran because they have atomic weapons. And believe you me, those people do not want America forcing their debt-based system on them. Because you see, they're Muslims. Muslims don't like paying you. They don't like that. They hate it. See, so they're happy with the system they have, and they don't see any need for America to force them onto a debt-based system just so then they can pay their debt. That's all it is. This is a business. This is commerce, but this is forced commerce. So they're going to steal the assets, the Iran, to gain the oil, the crude. See, this is how this works, right? It's all business, commerce. And they hoodwink all the people to make them believe that there's something else. Well, it's not. It's all about, funding the debt. That's all it's about. And getting more loans. That's what it's about. See, it's about commerce. See? And this is something that people don't understand. Because it's a debt-based system. That's why. And it's run by the Federal Reserve, which is run by the Freemasonic Jews. And they're not accountable for anything. They can spend it on whatever they like. Funding NASA, which, as far as I'm concerned, is just nothing but a scam. It's just a scam. That's all it is. It's a big, giant scam, to prove their globe Earth. That's all. That's all it's for. Then all people are being scammed, and even the people who say they believe, right? I love this one. This is good. They say they believe, and yet when you turn to Genesis 1, they mock it. They don't believe what it says. King James Version says what it do in 6 and 7. Genesis 1, 6 and 7, or Bereshith 1, 6 and 7. It tells you what's up there. Up in the sky, it tells you that it's a firmament. And I've got another video I explained all that anyway. You see, that's those scriptures. But the reason that America is chaffing at the bit for Iran is because they want this asset so they can pay more loans, they get more loans and pay the debt. That's all. They can use the crude oil that Iran has as for payment. That's all it is. Well, from what they earn, because they'll take it over, see? And that's how that's going to run. But in the process, if they do this, if American does this, well, she's going to get a bloody nose, and that's all there is to it. Because the Iranians aren't going to sit back and take it. They don't want that in their country. They just don't. And I don't blame them. I think they're fair enough. It's their nation. It's their corporation. I mean, I don't even know that. Maybe they're not a corporation. Maybe they are a genuine nation, right? They're not. Maybe because they're not debt-based, so they're not. There's no need for them to be a corporation. So they won't come under the New World Order. That means they're outside of that. See? Oh, can't have that. See? Because that's also another thing that's to come, right? Yeah. Well, So I've said about Iran now and why the Americans have got to have it because of the debt they've got. And why they need it because it's an asset, and why they need we've got there is crude oil, and why they need that crude oil to pay their payments. So now you know what the truth is, even though nobody else has bothered to say. This is about commerce. That's all it's about, being able to pay your debt. But the way they're going to do it is by stealing and thieving and plundering and pillaging. That's how they do it. That's how American works. You see, because they've done it to Syria and Libya and all the some of the other nations in that area. They've done it. Saddam Hussein never had any weapons of mass destruction. That was just an excuse to go in there and kick him out. That's all, and take the crude oil. That's all. Simple as that. You see. So as payment on their loans. You see. No one knows exactly the truth of how the commerce works now because it's so disguised. It's all deceit. All right. Now I can tell you more about this, but I'm not going to do that now because it's going on a bit. So I'm going to say, well, if you like what I said, smash the like button. If you want to hear more, then just press the subscribe button, and I will come back to you, and there'll be another video about this. Okay, I'll see you again. Bye.